Good morning, Shmuel Chantal, the running tour guide, together with Dr. Tovia Book. Look where we are, look where we brought you. We're on a Lupine hill. We're going to take you on a loop, 5-kilometer loop, in search of the flowers that are blossoming in these hills right next to Elah. Behind us is the hill of Tel Soko.
It is actually called Givat HaTurmusim, which literally means that Lupine hill. If you look very closely, you can see some of them have got a white stripe in the middle, the lupine. Some of them have a purple stripe in the middle. It all starts off white, and what happens is the bee rests on the lower part, it opens up, and this spike comes out coated with yellow pollen, which sticks to the bottom of the bee. Once the plant has been pollinated and the pollen has been taken by the bee, it closes up again and the stripe changes to purple. So the next bee coming is attracted by the light color and will go and pollinate one with a white stripe, not one which has already been pollinated, which is marked by the darker color purple. Fascinating aspects of nature.
Beautiful. Love it. It's not just a source of pleasure to look at them, it's a source of sustenance. And you know, I have so many people that I meet these days that have problems with gluten. This would be a good bean to eat, full of protein, but it's quite a process. So try and find us a bean or two. Look how many there are. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. There we go. Pop it open for us. Oh, look at that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful lupin bean, but you don't eat it like this. It's a process. It's like an olive. You need to pickle it. Spanish Harlem, Portugal, Spain, they love these. They have it with beer, actually. You go to a nice local brewery, there's a good snack while you have a beer. And in the Middle East it was also very common during the Roman times as a source of food. But here they are, protected in this magnificent hill, Givat HaTurmusim. So what we're going to do now is you'll see the path right next to the hill. It's going to take us right around in the direction of Park Adulam, and then we're going to be heading up to the hill where Dr. Book will help us uncover some of the archaeology and possibly connect us with the period of David, tribal heartland of Judah. These were the cities of Judah: Adulam, Azekah, Socho, Adoraim. Yeah, look what we've come across here, hidden amongst all of these rocky outcrops. A beautiful pair of stemless hollyhock. It looks like similar to a pink rock rose, but have a look at the pollen that's just covering the stamens, and you can just imagine the bees love this. A nice soft place to land. And then not far from us, there you can see the bee boxes. So, you know, walking through here, I mean, the fact that we haven't been stung by a bee yet is quite remarkable. We're going to beware. We're being beware. And now we're heading on the trail. So get some exercise in. Elah. Wow. Let's just go through here a little bit. Go. Oh my gosh. This is remarkable. We were concerned at the beginning of this hike that we wouldn't see so many. And this is just 1 kilometer in, and there's a field of them.
Whoa!
I really hope it's capturing this beauty. It's like there's no words. Look at that. Got to bring the family here.
Wow! Yeah, I'm pretty good with words, Sam. I'm being dumbstruck with this.
It's unbelievable. Folks, come on, get out there. See these things. בוקר טוב. נכון, נכון.
עלינו עד למעלה, יש 3-4 ופה.
She's just telling us that she climbed the top of Tel Soko to look for the flowers. Meanwhile, they're all down here in the valley. Still plenty of water out from the good rains we've been having. These are now the latter rains.
behind us, this white box here, inside, stacked in the white box, are different boards, and they initially have an artificial honeycomb on which the bees then fulfill. Each box has got a queen bee inside, and basically what's happening is that the bees are pollinating from the flowers around us, bringing it back and creating the honey. Afterwards, what happens is the farmer will come and he will literally smoke the bees out. He'll come with his helpers with full-on hazmat suits, which are actually bee suits, thick leather gloves, beekeeper's helmet, white full-on overall, and they'll come and they'll smoke out the bees, pick up trays, and then take them to the processing plant where they slot these trays into a huge round barrel, and then with centrifugal force it spins around and all the honey comes out of the trays onto the walls of this huge cement barrel, mixing barrel, and it comes down and trickles out, and that's how they extract the honey from these hives.
Or alternatively, when you come and visit us, stay at the King David Hotel or the David Citadel or the Mamilla, all the nice hotels surrounding Jerusalem, and you can get yourself a fresh honeycomb like this one here, and you can eat it at the breakfast. Look at that. Wow. Listen to the sound. Here we go. The anemones. They aren't an enemy. But what about the red berets during the British Mandate period? What's the story there?
So the red berets were actually the British paratrooper corps, and they were called anemones, kalaniot, by the Jews in the Mandate because they wore the red beret, which is the same bright red as the anemone flower,
Right.
which is kalaniot. So they would say, Hine ba'ima kalaniot, the anemones are coming, which is basically everyone would know to clear the neighborhood because the British paratroopers are moving through.
Stunning. Look at that bright red. And behind us, you can see the path that leads up Tel Soko. We're going to be circumventing it. Check out the trail map. Come and do it yourselves. Yalla. Here we go, folks. 5 kilometers looped, Lupine loop. Let me just stop the clock here.
Lupine loop.
The Lupine loop. Check out in the description. Come and hike this, come and run this. Look where it's brought us to. The peak of Tel Soko. Listen to the birds. Look at the lupines. So, briefly want to tell you about where we are. The first mentioning of Tel Soko is in Sefer Yoshua, the book of Joshua. It actually mentions 4 towns which are very close to this hill where we are: Yarmut, Azekah, Adulam, and Soko. So check it out. There's the source for you. There's the verse. And interestingly enough, this was conquered by Joshua 3,250 years ago. And later in history, this is where a major battle would play out. The Philistines actually took a hold of this hill, which would have been in the hands of Judah before, right? Correct? Mm-hmm. So the Philistine stronghold on this hill overlooking the valley of Elah, Emek HaElah. Today you can see all of the beautiful almond trees that are blossoming in the valley, and right across us on the other side where I'm pointing is Sha'araim, also mentioned in the book of Samuel. Sha'araim, 2 gates. Interestingly enough, archaeology has brought to light 2 gates, so connecting us with that city. And then of course Azekah, the massive Tel, the western edge of Emek HaElah. So let's bring it into the picture. Azekah, Sha'araim, Tel Soko. What's the deal? Why is the location of such an incredible, infamous battle here where we are?
Okay, so to start off, I need to tell you guys a story. Many years ago, I was guiding a birthright group, and there was a kid on the group. He had a very Jewish name of Luke, and I was explaining to him exactly where we are. We were in the valley in the middle. I said on this side, on the left side were the Philistines, on the right side were the Israelites. And I took out my Bible, the book of Samuel 1, and read the source. And he's like, wait, stop the show right now. Are you telling me that this hill and that hill are mentioned in the Bible? I'm like, yes. And he processed it and he thought, he said, that's just outrageous, man. And that was the moment, his Jewish moment, he realized it wasn't just black words on a white page, but rather it's real, it's live. You can come to the land and see the Bible in 3 dimensions. And that's exactly where we are. If we'd have been standing here 3,000 years ago on this spot, we'd be speaking Phoenician Philistine. And this more or less was the border. The valley here was the border. And that hill over there was King Saul and his men, and a young shepherd boy came up to bring food to his brothers. A ginger kid came up and he saw what was going on. Now back then, people fought by proxy. So if any of you seen the movie Troy, when Brad Pitt goes and kills a massive big soldier on the other army and the whole army won, that's the way they did it. If we would still do that in the 20th century, then the slaughter of World War I wouldn't have happened. Basically, each side picked its champion. And this is where the world universally, historically, religiously famous battle of David and Goliath took place. Literally down here in that valley, a young shepherd boy gathered up some smooth stones, and the rest, as they say, is history, her story, our story as the Jewish people.
And stick with that story. A future vlog is going to take us from Tel Azekah into the valley of Elah, and we'll play out that biblical account for you and give you a taste of what it could have been like. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little vlog around seeing the lupines, the anemones, the cyclamens, the woodmallows, the bees. The hills are flourishing. The hills are bountiful. We have returned.
Hills are alive.
The hills are alive.
The sound of the Tanakh.
Exactly. So have yourselves a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for following. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. We promise to take you to many places in the promised land. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wonderful weekend, and look forward to seeing you next week. We don't know where. Stay tuned.
But by the way, it's not all desert here. Whoa.
We'll finish with that.